Let's look at the moves. Thank you. What was that?
This is not FPL. This is a major.
Yo, welcome to Hotkeys Esports. New year, same dog shit region.
So real.
Home of the home of the free, land of the brave.
I think that's
And-
backwards, actually.
Don't worry about it. That's not important. But yeah, no, it's a new year filled with exciting little esports ventures. And I am Prater, one of your hosts, joining me as always, forever and always.
The Dobon, one and only.
Yeah, no, welcome to January in America. And it's a new year. It's fresh. There's all sorts of hope in people's eyes. You know, the little things are swirling. New games on the horizon, fresh new releases. Obviously, new year, new majors. There's a lot, and there's so much, in fact, that neither you or I want to sit here and rattle off a list. Because why would we?
There's just too much stuff, man.
Yeah, but we'll do a little bit of due diligence. And I think first things first, obviously, what do you do at the new year? You do two things. You reflect on the year prior, and then you talk about, the upcoming year. So
Make your resolutions.
so let's start retroactively, right? Because I know me and you wanted to talk a little bit about, quickly just run off some of our favorite esports moments from 2024.
Yeah, there's
Some of our favorite games,
there
stuff
was a
like
lot
that.
that happened. There was a lot of really hype events. 2024 is the year I found myself getting a lot more into Counter-Strike than
Yeah.
previous years. 2022, like during the pandemic, I started playing a bit more, but the pro scene I really started paying attention to in 2024. And yeah, there's, too many events in a year for Counter-Strike. I'll be the first one to say it. For a game that doesn't have like a structured league, like
Mhm.
most games don't, it's just a lot of events. And the bigger ones, like EPL happening every other weekend, is great because it helps the ESL ecosystem, but because ESL is not the only one, it just gets confusing and real jarring. That being said, tons of great games. Mainly the major, if we want to just like swing big real quick.
Yeah, of course.
Spirit taking that was a huge deal. Showing up top 5, top 4, top 3 at most events, but finally winning like the major was huge. FaZe coming up short again at a major in the same year was heartbreaking. That is a storyline to pay attention to for next year because they lost to Navi at the start of the year at Copenhagen, and they lose again to Spirit at the end of the year in Shanghai. So that was nuts. Mao's really showing up. Mao's really being a powerhouse this year. It was really cool. Super young team.
Yeah.
So,
No, definitely. A good run. A good run.
yeah, that's kind of where I want to leave for Counter-Strike because there's a few more things I want to talk about, but that's for that's for the coming year, so we'll save it for that. And
Okay.
then I think I'll save my breath on Dota as well, but the one game that really sticks out, and I think the best.
No, please.
game
Yeah, that's
of
what we're
the
here
year-
for. If you're trying to give somebody the game to watch for 2024
If
Dota,
you're
extol your
entering-
virtue.
If you're entering 2025 as a new Dota fan, you're tired of League, you're tired of the design creep, 200-year champions, right? You just need to slam buttons.
You need to go to a game that's
deeper.
200 years old.
Exactly. Right? You're getting up there in age. You can't hit Q fast enough on NASA's to last anymore.
You are so tired of Ambessa having a dash attached to every ability.
Yeah.
How could they?
Somebody wanted AD Silas and got it. Wasn't me.
I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
I liked Silas the way he was.
I love Silas.
That champ is so sick, man.
I
Add Silas to
love
Dota.
Silas.
Ice Frog, if you ever come across this, put Silas in Dota.
The entire trade pattern to the kit,
would
the
work.
dashes,
He would
the
work
ult
so
steals.
good, dude.
Oh my god, he's so
Turn
sick.
radius would do nothing but help that character, like balance that character out. That's all I'm saying. Everything else is like fine.
Is there a character that there's got to be characters with like cleave on auto attacks the way his like passive works, right? That's got to be a thing. I'm assuming.
I mean,
Somebody across that roster has it.
Sven has it like tied
Okay.
into a passive ability. Like you just have
Yeah.
cleave by default.
Okay, yeah.
Magnus can cast cleave.
Sure,
So he
yeah.
can like buff himself to have it, or an
I would
ally.
say, yeah, someone who like after every ability they cast in Dota gets a 360 auto attack that literally hits AoE around them seems pretty good.
Think
How busted items are in that game.
Dawnbreaker's the closest one because she has a 3-hit passive that like AoE life steals from like everything around her. And crits.
Yeah, no, that's yeah.
Dawnbreaker's a league champ. But if you're tired of all that and you need a game that has stood the test of time and is slowly just dying, and love to see it.
No,
Dota.
no. Next year, positivity.
Positivity for Dota 2. Hopefully the prize pools go back up, but
They're not doing that without a battle pass, but that's a different point.
They could just do that. Workshop is full
You're right.
of stuff.
I agree with you. We talked about this. I know. Trust me. I'm with you 100%. They should.
Losing my mind, man. But ESL 1 Bangkok 2024, I think it's like the most recent Tier 1 tournament for Dota. Yeah, the last one of the year. Finishing that up. First of all, Perivision won. That was insane. But outside of the event and focusing on a singular game, and I think it's the game to watch for 2024 Dota, is Falcons Liquid Game 3. I said in a previous episode, 77-minute game, goes the distance, base race. It's just a tug of war, everything that you'd love to see in like close, like MOBA esports is there. It was perfect. It was absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema. We'll throw Scorsese on the screen.
My hands are up.
Hands up. Phasing up.
Phasing up.
Phasing up. But yeah,
Pissing on our streamer award trophy.
In terms of games that I really like to follow, it was like that. Ranks you winning TWT.
Sure. Yeah.
As
great
a
moment.
bear main.
Glad you mentioned it. Yeah.
Feels good for me. Right. So that's kind of all I've got.
TW champion doing it in 2 different games with Bears. Very cool. Very cool.
That's my
especially
champion.
To add to that narrative a little bit. I think something that's very cool about that. I might have mentioned it before. I can't quite remember, but I think I talked briefly. The fact that he did it in a year where the surrounding talk of the game was so much about the Fantastic Four, the Terrible Three, whatever you call them, all this Dragunov, Nina, Yoshi, Dragunov, Nina, Yoshi, Dragunov, Fang, Dragunov, Nina, Fang, like all this talk about these dominant characters that are ruining the game. Which, don't get me wrong, they're extremely good. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm downplaying how good those characters are. They are insane. I'm the biggest Yoshi hater on the planet, dude. I think Flash is maybe the stupidest move in fighting games. And yeah, like, but yeah, I do think there's something to be said that's cool, in my opinion, about a bear winning in a year where all of the talk was about how broken these characters are and no one in the cast can really compete at the highest level with these characters. Yeah. So for a bear to win it all at the end is very cool.
Yeah, but with that being said, what do you have from last year? What were your highlights, your top moments, and things for games?
Yeah, for me, last year we got to see there were some ups and some downs. We maybe went through one of the worst Guilty Gear seasons for Strive to date. That being said, there was some fun to be had in that. There is a match. This one, no one. This is a deep pull. I'm pulling a deep cut here. So for those who don't know Strive, there's a character named Gold Lewis who is a terror. Still is in the current season, but was a super terror last year as well. There is a match from the CEO 24 top 8 that was a Gold Lewis versus Potemkin in top 8. And let me tell you, this big body warfare was a treat to watch. That's all I'm gonna say. It was an absolute treat to watch. It was I believe it was, I'm looking up the players right now. It was a boy versus Red I Am Not. That was who it was. But yeah, it was in losers round 1 of top 8 at CEO 2024. And yeah, it was a treat. Big body warfare. Potemkin, not a character you see a lot. Commonly hated. Very rarely makes it into top 8s though for various reasons. But a fantastic unorthodox matchup, and definitely worth checking out. TWT was great. Obviously, there's a lot of good matches there. That one was really good. Punk winning an Evo finally. Fantastic moment. Was there in person. Really loved it. Huge story, not only for him, as that was a title that title eluded him forever. I mean, it was his first Evo, which is crazy to say because that guy is considered one of the greatest Street Fighter V players in the game's history, and he never took an Evo. And he was considered, up until that Evo, like he was considered a front runner to win it, but everyone saw it like, can he do it? The Punk curse. He can never win Evo. He can never. And he did it, man. He did it, and it was close, and it was a hard-fought battle, but it was huge, and it was heartwarming. It was really cool to see. He got very emotional. Yeah, awesome. Not just, and it's America winning an Evo in Street Fighter. Obviously, very cool.
Right.
So, like, obviously, we're going to celebrate that, but I think, especially just on a personal level, the personal journey, just huge, man. Like I said, huge to see him finally get that. Evo is big America wins all around. Actually, we won in Strive as well. Nitro, shout out to Nitro. But on the MOBA front, I want to give a huge shout out to FlyQuest's performance at Worlds for League of Legends.
Absolutely.
I talked about it when we were kind of talking about it at the time, but to give a similar from the other side of the pond, to give you guys a game specifically to watch, I recommend Genji versus FlyQuest Game 3 in the quarterfinals. I mean, like I said, we talked about the time, but when we went into that game, FlyQuest versus Genji, everyone was saying obviously it was a wrap. If it was being called, if NA were to win it, the biggest upset in League of Legends history. You're talking about our number 1 seed versus the number 1 Korea seed. And a team that was dominant, like Genji was massively good. Korea considered the best region in the world at the time. Their number 1 seed. People were talking about it being mismatches in every lane. Just an absolute stomp fest. And the series is great. It goes the distance. 5 games. Obviously huge, but specifically that game 3, watching Masu, a rookie, literally carry the game. Like, get put ahead by smart play from his team. Fantastic TP by Bwipo, the team playing around him to get him ahead in the 2v2, and him just taking that Kaisa and winning the game with it. You know, him, a rookie, winning the game at the highest level against the strongest competition on the biggest stage. You can't write it any better. It was, I said it at the time and I will say it again, that shit is inspirational for the future of League of Legends and North American players. You know, a North American talent doing that. Yeah, you can't get a better story. Yeah, like,
and especially in League, where it's a game that NA hasn't been the strongest. Like, we haven't won Worlds. Our MSIs are,
we're cursed at MSI. Our last 2 years have been bad. No, our last 2 MSIs were terrible.
It's good on the international stage to, one, beat out Europe.
Make quarters. Yeah, quarters. Exactly. Huge. Make quarters.
Right? Beat a Korean team. What more could you want? The future of North American League in general, because we're going to get into that too, is bright.
No,
very exciting.
It was huge. Like I said, inspirational game. Some of the greatest Kaisa play I've ever seen. Clutch moments, under pressure, under siege, ice in the veins type shit.
Walking
like, actually,
those orbs, man.
No, literally, like absolute. There is a Baron fight I don't remember if it was Baron or Herald, but in that area,
Yeah.
I think it was a Baron fight. Zonia's into Kaisa ult into like what wins the team fight off it. Just shit that like literally split second decision making that any misstep at all, he dies. He explodes, he pops, game's over, they lose the fight.
Done.
And just he's sticking it every time as a rookie at the literally the biggest stage in the world
Never even heard of
against the
pressure.
strongest competition
Doesn't even know
you
what
could
pressure
possibly
is.
imagine. Yeah, no, just amazing. Like I said, inspirational. There's no other way to say it. It truly is an inspirational game. If you are like I'm shaving my head and I'm enlisting tomorrow type shit. Like I don't know. Like I'm not doing that. just for the record.
For the record.
Yeah.
We've got a show to run. We don't have time.
Yeah, we got a show to run. I got to do a list. Yeah. Facts. But yeah, those are definitely I think the main ones.
To be fair, you could give the Army Esports branch like updates. That could be your
I'm
next
not
thing.
doing that. I'm not paid for by a country.
Remember the COD stream they were doing when like I think it was like Vanguard or something came out and everybody went into their Twitch chat just saying what war crimes they committed.
Yes,
And
no, they were banning people for it.
mentioning the war crimes.
Yeah. No, yeah,
It's a
yeah,
W.
no.
Gotta love this
That's a
country.
W. No, yeah, 100% freedom of speech, baby. That's why we have this show.
Nope.
But yeah, no, it's yeah, it's a good year. A lot of fun events, a lot of cool stuff. And those moments lead us forward, and here we are. We're in a new year. You know, we've talked about some things, and now in the past, and now we can look towards the future, towards what's coming. And there's a lot coming. So we got a lot of fun stuff. Where do you want to hit first? I'm curious because obviously, you know, I want to talk about the new League of Legends season. We got some events to rattle off. We got some other stuff. Where do you choose your own adventure? Where do you want to take this?
I think here's how I think it plays out in my mind. All right, we run big events coming up for the new year.
Sure.
We jump
Some
into
standouts.
games, new games for us. You know, things like that.
Wait, hold on. I like this. I just had a literal. This is an on the fly moment. This is not scripted.
All right, let me hear it.
Stick with me on this. I got a roadmap idea. This is gonna be fun. I actually think I like this a lot. All right. So we're gonna start this off, right? Because yeah, we want to hit some major events throughout the year, and we're gonna talk about some major things throughout the year, right?
Yes.
Roadmap. Boom. As we hit each thing, you know, for example, right? League of Legends, the LTA season starts at the end of January. So working for boom, we hit that. We're like, hey, this is starting in January. What's the big deal? Let's start with League of Legends. It's a roadmap. We're literally doing a roadmap. We're hitting it along the way. Each little thing. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. Do you want to? Do you have anything that you want, like an event coming up that you want to kick it off?
So
with
yes. So I teased this to you earlier. I would have hit you with this right now.
Whoa.
So you said
Excited.
You were like, hey, you want to talk about new games coming out that we might be trying to get into, even if they're not new.
Yes.
And I was thinking, it's serendipitous that you say that, because I was thinking, and I was like, you know, what's something I can embrace in 2025?
Big word
that,
for
you know,
me.
something new and exciting, and give it the old honest college try.
Yes, sir.
Well, would you look at that on January 16th? Do you know what starts, my friend?
January 16th.
I can tell you. This is a rhetorical question. I know what starts.
Okay.
But if you want to take a guess.
I feel like I know what starts on the 16th.
What do you think starts on the 16th?
Can I play like hot and cold with it real quick?
Sure.
Like 3 questions. All right. Is it a game?
Yeah.
Is it a game that I play?
Yeah, I think so. Like you have played for sure.
Okay.
We've all played it.
We've all played it. We played it together?
No.
Okay. Fuck. Is it a MOBA?
No.
Ah, okay. I'm lost then. What's happening?
I'm about to shock you with this one right here.
I'm gonna get.
I'm going in, no
stunned.
bias, full ready. I'm going to commit. I'm going to try to immerse myself and see where it goes. Give it the honest shake and give my findings as they happen on the show. January 16th, VCT 2025, America's Kickoff happens. And I'm going to watch. And I'm going to keep watching.
You're going to play
every
Valorant.
major. Every major, I'm immersing. I'm sitting down. I'm locking in. Valorant Masters Bangkok happens February 1st. I'm there. I'm locked. I'm watching.
What's got you...
We're giving it the try, man. I feel like I've just I hate it, and I do. I can't I can't stress that enough. Whenever I see it, I hate it. But I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm just seeing these clips, and like maybe it's out of context. Let's sit down and observe a season of Valorant, and come back with honest feedback on my end.
Okay.
So we're giving it the shot. Do I want to play it? Fuck no. Am I going to play it? Absolutely not. Holy shit, no.
Who knows?
But I'm going to sit down and watch it.
I wouldn't say no yet.
Maybe. Yeah, exactly. Right now, this is my honest opinion at the moment. I have no desire to play that game. I refer to that game as fucking Looney Tunes all the time because it's Looney Tunes as fuck.
It really it is Looney Tunes. It is
dude. As I say, I just see clips of a smoke appearing out of thin air.
It is
like I said, yeah. I watched a guy hold down a smoked doorway, a dog, a bird, a bomb robot, and a person rocket jumping came out of the smoke as he was holding it, all within 3 seconds of each other. That's Looney Tunes.
I'm sure if there was like a camera set up to like the side of that would look sick. All right, but to be the guy that's like watching all this happen,
Looney Tunes bullshit.
I'm getting hit by like anvils, and I've got coyote time off a cliff.
Yeah,
like,
you're seeing the Wile E. Coyote tornado come to the right. There's a dust cloud with fists and feet flying in a corner.
Abilities in Valorant strike me the same as like Wile E. Coyote painting a picture of like a tunnel on a wall, and then Roadrunner being able to go through it. That's how like an ability in Valorant acts in my brain, and I like Valorant. I'm the one out here that.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say yeah. You like the game. I don't like the game, and I conceptually hate the game. But yeah, no, we're gonna watch it. 2025, embrace new things, try new changes. I'm watching the majors. I'm not gonna sit here and like watch week to week shit, but I'm gonna watch the kickoff. I'm gonna watch the Bangkok major.
Okay.
I'll probably be back when they do. I forget like their. I think Masters Toronto is in like June or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, I'll be there for the big ones. Yeah, I'm gonna watch, and like I said, I'm committing to, when they happen, I'll come back with the report. It might be me shitting on it for an hour. Who knows? But I'm coming back with what I see. I'm gonna give it the honest try and give my honest feedback.
Listen, that's fine with me. I will take that. It gives us something more to talk about too. So
yeah,
I'm with it.
But yeah,
I'm with it.
Yeah, that is one of the big resolutions.
All right.
But yeah. To start my journey, January 16th, there's VCT, America's Kickoff. It's the kickoff for all of them, but I don't give a fuck about any other region, as per usual. So I will be watching the America's Kickoff.
I'm going to... Oh, you have anything else? Sorry.
Oh, no. Do you have something? My next thing is the end of the month on the 28th. Do you have something between that you want to throw out?
No. Mine's like in the future, so you're good.
Okay. So, obviously, I don't even need to say anything on this. I'm just 28th to February 2nd. ALGS 2024 champs. Need I say more? I'm there for it. I'm stoked. I can't wait. Yeah. End of story. After that, we have, around the same time, I should say. I got slightly ahead of myself. Around the same time, I believe the 25th is the start of LTA America. LTA North and South. So, obviously, we talked about this when they rebranded to LTA. We had a whole discussion on, the teams and stuff.
Real quick.
So I don't want to. Yeah.
Can we take 5 on League real quick? Because this breaking news just occurred to me.
Okay.
About
What's breaking?
What we've got.
Newsflash.
Brand spanking new for the new year.
Okay.
Right? We've got our good friends over at Marvel. The mouse sees all.
Yes.
The mouse knows all. And as we
Yeah.
know, they've been running their Swiss double elimination tournament
Hmm.
for the Marvel Rivals Championship. Gosh, the MRC, as I will continue to
The,
call it because I
the
can't say those
MRC.
words altogether.
Yes, the MRC.
The MRC is having their North American Grand Finals today.
Oh shit. That's
Uh,
today. Who's
it's
in grand
today.
finals? NRG
Currently,
got eliminated, so I stopped following.
yeah. Currently, it is a team called In and Out, and we are waiting for
Nice.
the
W.
losers semis match between Sweeteners and Dicky Suarez.
The mouse sees all for sure.
The mouse sees all.
I can't wait for the team of Dicky Suarez to be on stage shaking Mickey Mouse's hand.
Dikisuaves.
Fuck it, eh? Yeah, no.
Dicky Suarez
Dicky
versus In and
Suarez
Out,
versus In and Out.
not the burgers. Maybe the burgers.
Yeah, I guess let's pit stop. We can talk about Marvel. I don't have a ton to say on it. I'm just like
Yeah.
watching with anticipation, right?
That's for
I want to see where it
console,
goes.
too.
The game seems fun. Yeah, like I feel like it's
PCs
uncharted territory. We gotta see what develops. Obviously there's these like localized tournaments, and I feel like metas have started to shape
So this
out in the
kind of
game.
occurred to
Obviously,
me as the game was fully released. This
yeah,
preface this one with it is a fully released game,
yes,
right?
this is
And
out.
so the point that I am going to make is in context of that. Because Deadlock, the other 6v6 hero shooter that released earlier in the year,
Hmm.
has, I don't want to say it's fallen out of popularity, it's kind of stabilized. And obviously, Marvel
Well,
Rivals being a complete game has taken over and is having tournaments now.
I
And,
also have another thought on this once you finish that. But
yeah, and yeah, I mean, that's kind of like where we're at with it, where Marvel Rivals has a tournament series. It's kind of taken the spotlight away from Deadlock a bit, which is fine. I think it gives Valve more time to work on that game, prepare things, especially because of whispers of other Valve titles in the works that don't belong on our channel. So we're gonna keep it moving there. It's Half-Life, guys. It's probably
It's
Half-Life.
Half-Life, guys. Guys,
Probably
there's still.
Half-Life.
We swear it's
We
coming.
swear it's Half-Life.
Um,
Yeah.
Here's my thing. Here's also
ahead.
because I think some people are like, oh, hero shooter, Marvel replaced Deadlock, yada yada. I've heard some utterings of this. I think the reality set in. Deadlock's a MOBA in third person. It's not a hero shooter. Like I hate to be
Yes.
like
No,
the
it's like
the guy
Smite.
in the room, who's
Yeah.
like screaming it, but like that's the reality. Like straight up, I this is what I told everyone, when we were playing it. But I even had a friend who he's not a MOBA guy, but he likes shooters, and all his friends were playing Deadlock, and he's like, "Oh, they told me it was a shooter. I went to play it," and I'm like, "Well, you hated it, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's like a MOBA," and I'm like, "Yeah, exactly, because it
Because
is
it's a MOBA.
like."
Yeah, they
Yeah.
made Dota 3. Like,
Yeah, it is a MOBA with shooter elements, but it is way more MOBA than it is shooter. If you can't perform in lane, you're going to lose. Like, there's no lane in Marvel Rivals.
right.
It's fucking six
It's the lane,
champions
it's the
killing
lane
each
you
other.
push
Yeah.
the cart down. That's
Yeah.
that's the lane.
You're not worrying about last hitting anything. There's no economy. The only economy is where your ultimate is at. Like, so yeah, and I think obviously, yes, this is released, so I think that's huge. A lot of people, you're not playing like a beta that's kind of buggy and janky, and like
game.
obviously that's a whole thing. But yeah, this is an out there game being advertised with a big IP, and it's fun. It's fun, and Overwatch is dead. Not
It's dead.
no,
Yeah,
yeah, we could say, yeah, you're right, you're right. I'm not gonna mince words here. Yeah, Overwatch is dead, and it has left a void that I think people want filled, especially old Overwatch players. And Marvel Rivals is that. Like, I don't know, like, and until they fuck up and create a terrible meta that kills the game, it seems all right. Like I don't know.
Which there is a video by Your Overwatch talking about what Marvel Rivals is doing right. I highly recommend checking that out if you care about the longevity of the game. But yeah, So that's kind of what I had
Them
in between.
threatening to launch 6 heroes at a time is insane to me, but we'll see what happens.
It's the I've said this before and I'll say it again. NetEase being who NetEase is, being the people that made the first Marvel MOBA, or I guess not the first one, but the one that really like caught my eye,
Yeah.
which ties into another thing we're gonna get to later. It's all foreshadowing, subtle foreshadowing. I blame
Subtle
mobile games,
foreshadowing.
but subtle foreshadowing. They make mobile games, and the
Yep.
first Marvel like mobile game in the same vein as a hero shooter that I played from them was Marvel Super War,
Hmm.
which was it's a MOBA. It plays like Wild Rift or Mobile Legends or whatever. Like it's
Right.
that type of game,
Yeah.
and it was cool. I wish it was on PC. I think it would sell like hotcakes, you know. But this is their foray into the PC market. This, that, and the other point I'm trying to make is mobile game releases, mobile game development, characters, and all that. From what I've noticed, from what I've experienced, tends to be kind of rapid fire. And I mean, it works out
Oh
because
yeah.
mobile is you see it with games like Genshin and all these other gacha games, Nikkei, where you have
Listen, dude,
like
I'm back on the Zenless Zone Zero grind. I get it. I understand.
you have like 4 characters releasing per zone or whatever that comes like new update that comes out,
Mm.
and sure those games are different than a competitive shooter where you have to balance abilities and metas and things like that. Sure, I get it,
Yeah.
but it's not unheard of from that vein, and because
Yeah.
NetEase
You,
has that angle, I'm sure they know what they're doing. It's gonna be busted. It's going to be busted. I'm not gonna sit here and be like they're gonna be perfectly balanced. Sue Storm's
nah,
invis
yeah.
permanently isn't gonna be a problem at all. It's gonna be fine. That drops tomorrow. The trailer drops tomorrow, by the way, which is sick.
Wow. Cool.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's we'll see. Like I said, I don't have a lot to say beyond because like we've seen some startup tournaments or whatever. We've
Hmm.
seen this one, yeah, the MCR, like all of that
That's
kind
like
of
their
stuff.
biggest one. I think there's
Yeah, that's the
some
big one.
grassroots ones that have like shown up here and there,
But
but
yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what its first year looks like because this is its first real year. How long can it maintain the hype? You know, all that stuff. All it's obviously got the new hotness buff. It does seem like there's something genuinely there. I played it. I think it's fun.
hmm
Does it? It remains to be seen whether when things get figured out, like, are people gonna start hating? We don't know. But it's an exciting time, and I think it's a fun game, and it's got a good foundation. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's 2025 for Marvel Rivals is just about watching where it goes, right?
yeah,
Um,
just keeping an eye out.
Give me, I'm gonna hit you on the spot here.
Yes, sir.
Give me one thing that you think Marvel Rivals needs to avoid to maintain its hotness in the year of 2025.
Hot take, roll Q.
Oh wow,
Hot
you're
take,
crazy.
roll Q.
So you're saying no roll queue?
I was not a fan of roll Q in Overwatch, and I stand by why I don't like roll Q in that game to this day with Marvel Rivals. I think, and sure, okay, your pubs are getting ruined by people spamming DPS. I get it. From the
Yeah.
esports angle, from the angle of watching these games, right, where people are playing at the highest level, which is then emulated by people at the lower ranks. So you will start to see this happen as the game grows and progresses, right? You're calling for roll queue too early, first of all. Second of all, roll queue, and this is me as a Dota fan, limits the creativity
Yep.
of
I've seen this take, and I agree with it.
of
I think you're
builds,
correct.
of team comps, and things like that. Now, what I do like, and I'm gonna start regurgitating the Your Overwatch video because I said it was good, and we share similar views on it. The ban
Mhm.
system is good. I like the
Yep.
fact that there are bans.
In high elo,
You
right?
ban high, yeah, right, exactly, and it's in high elo, so you don't have to worry about it in your low
Yeah,
elo games if you just want to spam Squirrel Girl all day
because nobody cares. Yeah.
because nobody cares because you're gold, and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
However,
It's just
if, like,
simply correct. It's a different game.
if you want to run team comps, go to an LFG site. Like that.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for. If you want to be competitive, take initiative and be competitive. You don't go play pickup basketball and then just sit there and watch other people play pickup. You go and you find people to play pickup with. That is how it works. You just do the same thing for games. Like
Yeah, I
That's it.
agree with you. I
So
think you're
I
correct.
think role
I
queue,
think that's a smart call.
I think if you want to keep the game fun and flexible, which is what makes it fun in the first place, you don't add role queue. That being said, they're covering their bases by adding tanks, DPS, and supports all at once. I feel like you take the league model where they go one type of character
Yeah, you got
like
to keep roles from getting like
per like
oversaturated.
section
Yeah.
or per quarter or whatever, right? And
No.
then
Yeah.
that way you have a console. It's like, okay, we got a DPS already. We're gonna get a tank next, or we're gonna get support next. Like, you know what's coming. It doesn't feel like you're just getting oversaturated with all these things. The fact they're releasing 2 tanks is really good.
Hmm. Yeah.
2 supports
Yeah.
too, because what is it? Ultron's a support as well.
I actually don't even know. I just saw 6 characters. I don't even know who they're adding.
I don't
Cool.
know if I know the Fantastic Four are probably all going to drop together. I
I
don't know if
did.
they're all
Well,
dropping
so
at the
yeah,
same time.
yeah. I was say that I know because I saw the thing is that they are releasing the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, so
I didn't know if that was together or they just confirmed all of them will be in. But yeah, I did see that.
But the Fantastic Four is Thing and Reed are
Dude, what if they're Lost Vikings from Heroes of the Storm and it's actually just all 4 of them? Is one the Fantastic
that would be
Four?
insanity. But Johnny's abilities got leaked, so we know
Yeah,
that
no,
you
I
can't
would
switch.
say there's no way they actually do that. But
That would be really cool though. I would be so into that. I'm a cloak and dagger main though, so it's like I like switching between my characters. But like we know that we're getting 2 tanks, a support, and a DPS, so it's fine. But then you run into like, oh, we're just gonna get goats again because people are just gonna run tanks. Tanks are gonna be broken, right? Doctor Strange is the best character in the game. It is what it is, but there's no role queue, so you can be creative and find a way around it, right? Wolverine exists. Punisher's second weapon exists, right? Scarlet Witch does percent max health damage as well,
right. Mhm.
right? There's ways to get around it, and I
Well,
feel
yeah,
like,
it seems like counters actually matter in that game.
yeah, the
Which
team ups
at the earliest, yeah, like at the earliest stages of Overwatch, that was like true too. And I feel like at a certain point, characters started when Overwatch fell apart. It was fell apart. I mean, everyone talks about goats, and goats was I think the start of the downfall because the only way to counter
it was
goats
the
was just to
release.
play goats back
Yeah.
into it. Like there wasn't really like another strat that beat goats.
and then it was like
it was just
goats was just a response to dive meta, and then
yeah, exactly. And it became almost this cyclical thing where diversity was inherently killed because this stuff is too dominant.
and I could be
And
wrong,
it's
but in Overwatch, I don't remember characters having different damage types. Right, like it was all like you were.
I
all
mean,
just
the
doing
only
damage.
difference was armor and shields had different
They took
damage
different levels,
calculations,
right?
but that was it.
You
Yeah,
weren't doing the max health damage that Wolverine and Wanda can do.
Right.
You weren't doing so
Exactly.
now there's another
You're right.
layer of that.
they have created
it.
literal tank killer characters,
Yes.
like that is their purpose. And like they're neat. The fact that they have gone out of their way to make niche heroes that literally serve a niche to punish specific compositions.
Yeah.
Probably a good idea, probably smart. Oh, the enemy team is running double tank? Yeah, bring in Wolverine. Oh, the team is running 1 tank? Probably shouldn't be playing Wolverine, like
Yeah. So
and that's smart. I do think it's smart that you create. I don't think there's anything wrong, especially when you have such a large roster, with saying, hey, man, this character should not be, literally isn't designed to be played in 100% of games. This character is a niche pick to counter certain things.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes in design, and not just in game design, but like from designers, but I feel like some people get mad, especially because I don't know, there's the who do you main one trick mentality that I think you can fall into, where it's like, oh, well, I think my character should be playable in all situations. And it's like, well, playable, sure. Good? No. Like, I don't know. I think in a large roster, having a pick that purely serves a niche to counter is good. That's good
listen,
design.
man, I was a Mei terrorist in Overwatch. All right?
I was too. That's how I started playing that game.
I slammed that character every game, no matter the comp.
Yeah.
I was a terrorist, and I will remain to be a Mei terrorist in Overwatch.
Well,
Mainly because I want to ruin the day of Overwatch fans. That game wore down on me. I tell you what. Don't be
I
toxic.
feel that. I feel that. But no, I agree. I think all in all, I think your take is probably correct. I think maybe keep roll Q out. I agree with you.
What do
I
you
agree
think?
with you.
What do you think before we jump into league? Just a quick lightning round here.
No, I mean, I think you're right. I'm not going to claim to know enough to think about things I should avoid. I think the point is, I think they're in the right design space right now. I think they've done creative things with characters. And I'm into that. I was talking to someone before about how I think Spider-Man is a really interesting take on like an assassin in a hero shooter where like he literally dives backline and kills DPS. But like put him up against the tank and he's probably fucking dead. Like, like it's
This was another thing.
I like that there's a rock paper scissors triangle in that game that actually seems effective.
Yeah.
It's not they're not just stating it where it's like, oh, hit scan beats flyers, which is like obvious, but like this to me is a little bit deeper than that. It's a little more niche than that, where it's, like I said, if you're like everyone said, I remember early talk was they were just like, oh, Wolverine's dog shit. And it's like, no, he just has a specific use case in a comp. If you're playing Wolverine as a flanker, it's not how the character's designed. It's not how the kid is designed. Yeah.
There's other, you can play Iron Fist. You can play other characters to do that.
Yeah.
This
He
was
is
another
designed
thing.
to kill tanks. That's his purpose.
My last point on this before we jump off, because I don't know, this isn't going to be a Rivals episode, but
Yeah.
The feedback from the betas. So I played in the second round of betas, I think, because I didn't get access to the first one. Buddy of mine, Dix, Shadow Dix. It's with an H. It's fine. I can say it on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Dix and I played in the second round of betas, I believe. The one before Venom came out, so whatever that was. But one of the problems and one of the things that I noticed was because like Punisher was in the game, but that was like kind of it, Hella as well. But at the time those were like the only two real like grounded DPS. Everybody else was like flying around. Everybody else was
Right.
doing aerial stuff. I mean, Spider-Man was in the game too, but Spider-Man's melee, and again, early on it was like it was hard to tell who could deal with the Iron Mans, and I think Storm was in the game. Maybe not.
Mhm.
I don't remember exactly who, but it was like Iron Man was like a bigger problem back then, just
Sure.
because,
Flies. Yeah.
yeah, he flies, and then people,
Flies,
I guess
shoot
they like
beams.
changed some of the numbers on full release. Anyways, that was a problem, and I know that was a big thing on that first round. So people were saying, and even I wrote this in, and maybe it's just because I'm dog shit, but I wrote it in on my like beta survey, saying like, hey, like game's sick, characters that fly seem to be a problem. Like they just don't feel like consistent enough tools to deal with them, and the tools that we do have feel like they need to be split between it. So there's nothing like reliably to deal with them. And then lo and behold, Iron Fist gets announced and released, and Iron Fist magneting and having 3 jumps and
He does
hovering with
magnet.
flyers.
You don't even have to be your
like-
cursor does not have to be on their screen to melee people.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
It like that was like their answer to it, and I feel like that character was probably already lined up. They were still working on it. They had an answer to flyers, but it felt like they took the feedback and they were listening to like what the problems were and adjusting it. And yeah, I don't know. It just felt good to see a character like that could deal with flyers. Like playing on release rivals versus beta rivals felt like it had actually been improved and not we just added things and pumped the game back out in the same state that we gave it to you the first time.
Right.
So yeah, that's my piece.
True. All right.
Tally ho.
Yeah, true. Tally ho. No, yeah. So obviously big year for that. Another big year in the books. And I'm not even saying that as just a transition. It actually is a big year. League of Legends. Obviously on the esports competitive side, we've had an entire restructuring and downsizing of the entire competitive ecosystem. LCS and like the LLA and the other South American region that's slipping my mind right now. All being bundled together into the LTA with the North and South Conference. So obviously a huge restructuring of the way the game from a competitive standpoint. is happened. There are 3 splits now in a competitive season. 3 different international events, an MSI, obviously Worlds, and this new like Fearless one that they're experimenting with. But to focus less on that, because I think we talked about that before, I specifically want to focus on the game, because obviously we are entering a new League of Legends season. This one, I mentioned my distress about it to you before. They are calling it Season 1, which I fucking hate, but whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's like their post-Arcane League reset, like new
Yeah,
season.
it does seem like they're trying to, reboot the game a little more around the like storyline basis of art, which I'm not against. I don't think it's a bad idea. I even think once we get into some of the changes that are coming with this, I do think they're very cool. But yeah, so basically the year is being divided now into 3 seasons. So there's changing the seasonal structure, where you have a season 1, a season 2, and a season 3 throughout the full year. Each of those seasons has 2 acts, what they're calling it. They said they're trying to tie story stuff into it,
Like
which is interesting.
King and
Yeah, they're trying to go harder in that.
Okay.
Where basically they said that you got 3 seasons. That's going to follow an overarching storyline. Each season will focus on a different champion and like their region.
I'm into that.
The one that kicks it off, the one that we know about, which is coming, I believe, in like 4 days. Legit is the release. Yeah. Noxus. Noxus is the first season. If you don't know the changes, the Rift is getting completely altered. Turrets look different. Mechanically, there are big changes. They are making it so that Nexus towers, your last line of defense, now respawn. Pretty crazy. And they're adding another boss, like another mid-game objective boss to fight over.
Oh, the one that replaces Herald, right? It's
No, did it replace Herald?
I think it replaces Herald.
I thought it was just a straight up new addition.
No, it replaces Herald and has a different spawn point. Like the pit's just gonna be empty.
Oh well, the spawn point changes.
What's it called again? It's like sort of an A.
It has a ridiculous name. Yeah, I don't remember his fucking it's like
Otacon.
Otacon. Isn't it actually Otacon?
Yeah,
That's
Atakhan.
Interesting. Okay, because
not
I know
Metal Gear
Grubs are still
Otacon.
around.
Right?
They have the new.
Metal
Wait,
Gear?
say it again.
Is that Metal Gear? Otacon?
Yeah, Otacon is Metal Gear. Yeah, that's why I was
I
laughing
haven't
about
played
it.
those games. So
They're great.
unfortunately, I haven't.
I'm not gonna start. If you get me started, I won't stop.
I'm
But yeah,
going
so
to. I own them.
yeah,
I'm going to.
he is a new boss that is developed. Basically, he's going to spawn in the river on whichever side of the map has had the most kills up to that point in the game. And when he spawns, he creates like new flowers that are like plants that you can pick up for petals. And he also, when he spawns, he creates like an arena. So it creates like 2 new walls on whichever side of the river he's on. Yeah, it's interesting. It's either going to be fucking broken or worthless, as
waiting
these
for
objectives
broken.
usually start. Yeah, so we'll see. The petals are also interesting because I don't know if you've seen
The
what
blood
those
roses
do.
or whatever.
Yeah, so they're XP. Like,
Just
so if you
raw
pick them up,
XP?
you get XP for picking them up, and you get like I guess a small stat boost that lasts throughout the entire game for every petal you pick up. And dying champions drop petals, and also the roses around the map will drop petals. And then he himself is a boss with 2 forms.
You could either
Which
get,
is kind of cool. Yeah, his
Ruinous
form is
or
actually
Vicious.
yeah, and his form is influenceable. So the bloodier the game, that's how you get the ruinous form. Is like essentially what happens.
Yeah.
And they each have like different
Voracious.
movesets. Yeah, they have different like movesets that make them harder to kill, or like just change the way you fight him and shit like that. It's one of those things, man, where it's just like I'm excited about it. I think it's cool, but I'm very curious as to what the effect on the game's going to be.
Yeah, I mean,
But
they're
yeah,
also
I
like
mean, you kill him
reworking
and
like
you kill
items
him and
and
you get
stuff
Guardian
too.
Angel, right? So
Dude, it's Roshan.
yeah,
It's
no, kind
Roshan.
of.
It's
I
actually
that's
just
actually what I
Roshan.
thought. Yeah, that's actually what I thought of too. Is like he is kind of League is trying to do their version of Roshan.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I know they're changing like
Yeah.
items and stuff too. I know that
Yeah, they said they're
they're
doing a little bit. They're trying to gear away from totally reworking items
yeah,
this
because
time
they already
around.
did that. So, do
Yeah,
we have the
but they
champion
said
roadmap for
a little
2025?
bit. I have not seen it if we do.
I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna do my due diligence and check this.
Yeah. What I will say too, I like it as well because the Voracious version, right, is the only one that gives you the respawn buff. It's like the Roshan version.
Yeah.
The other one, if you kill it, just creates a grove of flowers. So it basically gives you like a stat buff and an ex a big like boon of like a bunch of exp. But it's actually not as crazy as the other one. So I'm hoping it's a little on the downtune side and it's not so bad.
Oh,
Especially because the voracious one doesn't spawn unless there's a lot more kills in the game supposedly. And even then, it's a one-time guardian angel. It's not like a fucking it's not like old Chem Baron or old Chemtech Drake or some shit
yeah.
like Soul.
Dude,
Um,
their last champion roadmap like video on their website is 2023.
I was gonna say, I don't think they've put out like a full thing for that yet. Yeah, we'll see. I am excited. I think it is cool to see that game really trying to get some change out there this time around. Um, the new boots seem nice. That was one of the item reworks they're adding to this game. There's a bunch of different boots.
Tier 3 boots are coming back, right?
Yeah, tier 3. You're right. Yeah, exactly. Tier 3 boots are coming back.
Uh,
And I am excited about the regional thing. I hope they commit to obviously, it's 3 seasons. Um I'm just excited to see what they do with each region, right? I think Noxus, the cosmetic treatment looks great. Everything being very mechanical and like cold and like the rift being like more it's got like an autumn feel, it's like way
yeah.
more like not green, it's like a lot of red and like,
Red, very
brown.
industrial brutalist looking to
Yeah.
emulate the Noxian aesthetic.
Yeah, it's very sick. I'm just excited to see. Yeah, I'm very curious about the respawning base turrets. I don't know. I love a good backdoor, and they were already pretty rare. And I don't know the exact respawn timer. I don't know if they even announced what the respawn timer for the Nexus turrets
If
are.
anything, it's on
But that's
PvE, but
I was gonna say it's definitely. I mean, that's a backdoor dissuader. Like, there's no other way to slice it. Like, you'd have to killing 2 turrets on your own is definitely different. But
feel
I like that
it
they're
works
taking
for
big
the
swings.
speed of League because they don't respawn in Dota, but Dota has essentially 2 sets of inhibitors that you have to break with the barracks. So you have to and one of them respawn or regenerates. So as opposed to like in League where it wouldn't regenerate but it'll respawn. Right?
Yeah.
So I think having it's like an extra line of defense that I think made games go faster, which is good.
Mhm.
It's what they want, but it also
Yeah. It seems like they're trying to maintain the sweet spot, like
it
the
just adjusts
20
the
the
timing a little
20
bit.
the
20 to 30
22
minute.
to 30 minute, yeah, 20 to like a 22-minute game is a fast game, a 25-minute is an average
As
game, and then a
opposed to like
30-minute.
your 15
Yeah.
minute games, everybody's just getting in and out because they're so
No,
good.
yeah. I don't think they want that. That's obviously too fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does
Pushing
seem like
mobile
they want to
timings.
keep their sweet spot of like 24 to 30 minutes
Yeah.
for a game. But yeah, I don't know. Any other thoughts on the new model, the new seasons? Where do you want to go after Noxus, that kind of stuff?
So I'm looking here on their X feed, Twitter feed,
Mhm.
and it's showing that we're League 25 Noxus Season 1.
Yep.
Which leads me to believe that at some point after these 3 Noxian seasons, we could always come back to Noxus.
I don't even, from what they said, I don't even think it's gonna be Noxus for the full season. Season 2, I think, is a different region because now there's 3 seasons in a year. And they said each season will follow a different champion and like what they're doing. So I think Noxus is going to be season 1, which will probably be the first third of the year. Then we'll have a season 2, which is probably going to be following a different champion in a different region.
As a lore
And then season 3, yeah.
as a lore enjoyer of League of
Yeah.
Legends, if I know what comes after watching Arcane, if I know what's
Mhm.
coming up next, we're redoing the Ionian War, which was for the new League players that came after Arcane, or just after the first Ionian War happened. That was an in-game event that added the Ionian boots to the game, like way back.
Mhm.
But Arcane takes place before Noxus invades Ionia, since they're reworking the lore.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's why at the end with Singed and everything, and Ambessa's like, can you make weapons?
Yeah. Why she's looking for a weapon and stuff.
Yeah. That's what they're planning to do. So they're getting ready to invade Ionia. So we either see Ionia coming up after that, and we get that whole thing.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Which
is flip sides.
It's like the Eastern like anime aesthetics that everybody
Ari, Yasuo.
Ari, Yasuo, your samurais, your monks, your all that, Master Yi, Wuju, Blade style,
Zed,
the shadow magic.
Jin was trained in Ionia.
Jin was imprisoned in Ionia and then was let free during the war to just start killing Noxians. It's a psycho.
Yeah.
And then Hui, who's like the weird art kid that's obsessed with
or
murderers.
something. Or
No, yeah, that's what it is. You know those people that like love serial killers? That's Hui. That's Hui Lord.
White girls. Yeah.
Hui's the
he looks it. No, you don't say no more.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
You got it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, so Ionia probably
that's smart.
I'm a big sucker
right.
for Shurima though. I think the war with the Void and then that bringing the Darken is such a cool storyline where it's like, oh yeah, this was bad, and then demons just start showing up, and it's even worse. It somehow got worse, and it's great. I think
we were dealing with like space alien type, other dimensional beings, and then demons also came.
Yeah, like imagine the Predator like busts down and is like tearing stuff up, and then all of a sudden Satan shows up and is like, hey, I know it's bad right now, I'm about to make it worse.
I mean, look at World of Warcraft, dude.
Exactly.
Their demons are aliens, you know?
There we go.
That's real lore. No, you're right. I think Ionia is probably smart. I'm curious where we go after that for sure. But yeah, I think mainly the thing that intrigues me about this year to kind of wrap this up as well is I do like, in theory, right? They're setting sort of the foundation for what they can do with these regional seasons and these like regional maps, so to speak, where it's like, okay, Noxian, like the respawning base turrets, I don't think that's a Noxian specific thing, right? I'm assuming that's probably just a gameplay wide change. I'm assuming we'll see that throughout all the seasons. But stuff like this mid-game boss, right? Is that a Noxian thing? Okay, well, if that's a Noxian thing, then what is the Ionian thing, right? Do they get their own unique mid-game boss? Are they going to change, like, the jungle bus for Ionia? Because it's supposed to be, you know, like...
It's more nature.
Yeah.
You know, they could do...
Yeah.
They could also
like,
do, Ishtal, because they're adding Kiana to Wild Rift, and the Skarner rework just happened.
I think Ishtal is probably coming. I would assume it's maybe the third region, legitimately.
Yeah, that's fair.
Would be my guess, unless they wanted to do Bilgewater third as like a venturing forth type jumping off point or something.
Bilgewater some more love. I'll be so honest.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm more excited for that. Like, what can they work into these regions to change the game up and like, you know, make things for, and like just seeing different flavored maps, I think is cool. I feel like people for, I don't know, close to like almost 10 years now, or like, you know, just a long while have been asking for map skins, and I don't think we're getting them, but this is like
getting closer to it.
I was saying, this is an example. Like, they're changing the map, they're making it look different to accommodate these themes.
Dota
like,
has map skins. Dota has map skins. and weather effects.
And weather effects. Yeah.
You can make it rain in the desert. The map changes. It tanks your performance. Like it starts looking like shit, but you could do it.
Nah, map skins would be cool. I just from what I hear, the engine they're dealing with old engine-itis.
Yeah, I think it's time for like a Dota Reborn treatment for League, where even like the Wild Rift models and skins are looking better,
yeah.
and as they're making like more high fidelity games, I think their main moneymaker in League needs to catch up to that a bit more.
Yeah.
That has like they changed the launcher, they moved the launcher to a new thing, which is like good.
But the client's still the client. Like,
Yeah,
that's
like
thing.
the game
Yeah,
is
that's
still the
problem.
game, and I'm sure they have somebody where I'm sure that's like in the works. It's just taking a long time because of how ambitious all their updates and
I was gonna
every
say
other project they
it's a
have going
problem,
on.
right?
Project
Yeah,
L.
in my opinion, it's a problem because you like the League of Legends team has to put out an update to the game every 2 weeks. You know, like
Yeah.
like yeah.
That's yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm optimistic. I think the new season looks really cool. I've been kind of I've been feeling the itch to get back on the Rift, and I just haven't done it because I'm just waiting for this new season to drop. And I'm
Oh, I feel that.
probably gonna start playing again.
I'm in the same boat. I don't think I've played a MOBA since November.
It's been a while for me. I've been playing the current TFT season, and I hate it, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. Honestly, aesthetically, it doesn't even look great. It's all the it's like just recolors of champions and then like arcane characters sprinkled in.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not my favorite set. I'll say that much. Definitely not my favorite set. But I am excited for this Rift change for the new season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see how it goes. I think a Roshan in League of Legends sounds cool from a competitive standpoint too. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm really interested to see how that objective goes into actual games, like comp games. Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking bright. I'm very excited for League of Legends return at the end of January.
In the same week, because you said what, the 28th that drops?
The 25th. It's like very
25th,
there.
okay.
There's a ton of shit right at the end of the month. Like
FPG for Dota starts on the 24th, so around the same time. First tournament of the new year. So I guess we'll call it the start of the season. But
so to speak.
Yeah, but like TI happens in like August, so it's like in the middle of the year.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're not really beholden to the January rule.
Yeah. Most of the Valve games don't. So, yeah. But FPG starts. It's in Belgrade. Teams started qualifying already. Avalis, Chimera, Yakult Brothers, Talon, and Apex are qualified. We're just waiting for the invited teams to start showing up, and then yeah, that'll kick off end of the month. So I'll be back in time for that. I'll be out from the 16th, so you have to fill me in on the Valorant stuff. But
I'm writing my book report. Don't you worry.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, moving up from that, I mean, we can start banging through stuff. In February, obviously, there's a couple things. Valorant Masters Bangkok. You've got like Blast Slam for Dota 2. You've got the 6th Invitational for Rainbow Six Siege. Yada yada yada. A bunch of your standard like Dream League for Dota 2, I think, is that month as well. Like, you know, banging through it.
In February?
That was in February.
Yep.
I'm gonna, unless you guys you want to mention, I'm gonna jump ahead a few months.
It's just one of the 3 Wallachia seasons we're getting in Dota, and then in March, and then in Counter-Strike has another Blast and an EPL happening. So nothing too crazy.
Yeah, standard esports fair. Results to be posted about and talked about when they happen, but your standard set of events. We cut forward. Obviously, the fighting game season is going to go strong as per usual. You're going to have Combo Breaker in May, as always. Sure. Memorial Day weekend.
We'll be there.
I will be there. I literally The hotels went live for it 2 days ago, and I got my room, so
Nice.
be there as per usual.
Nice. I have to
Um,
jump on that. I've been.
yeah, if you're trying to go, let's go.
Listen, man, we
I have
gotta.
a
It's content.
yeah. I would say we can talk. But yeah, we so May is combo breaker. I believe obviously from there you're gonna have CEO in Orlando, back in Orlando in June.
Oh, there was one thing. That's what I forgot.
Hmm,
This was a big one for us.
yeah.
But I can't make it because I have a family reunion. Um, like that weekend. ESL1 Raleigh.
Oh, oh, Raleigh. Okay, true, true,
ESL1
true.
Raleigh, a major, a Dota major in the States that's not
Yes,
TI
yes. Okay, right. I forgot.
on
What
the
I was
East
about to say.
Coast.
I thought you were talking about Blast for a second. I'm like, Blast is in
No,
June.
ESL1
Yeah.
Raleigh. That's gonna be a big one. Unfortunately, not gonna be able to make it out for that, but I will be
We're gonna talk
watching it.
about it
Yeah,
regardless. Yeah, we'll
I'll
be
be
watching it
watching it.
regardless.
You know,
Yeah.
they're gonna show, those Blue Ridge Mountains. The good old Smokies, whatever's out there. It's North Carolina. It's Appalachia, right? I need a drone shot of like Pudge stepping out of like a trailer in a holler somewhere.
You know,
That
you're hitting on something. I wish we should play up the cartooniness of America like that a little bit more. I think the American charm when we
yeah,
do stuff like that.
yeah,
Like you're right. Have Pudge at an In-N-Out drive-through. Like I just do it.
That's like what they did for like some of like the not older events, but like last year's events. They would have like the models of the characters like stationed out like in the world, like doing
That's sick.
emotes and shit. It was cool.
Yeah. I think that's cool. I think that's fun.
But I was just saying Pudge in a holler because Pudge looks and talks like holler folk. So
That's fucking sick.
shout out to anybody that's
Um,
watching this from the hollers. Love you, straight up. Y'all fighting Wendigos on the daily. Y'all just
we
crazy
love
out there.
we love a good regional dialect.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so we've got the fighting game big three, in the sense that you have Combo Breaker in May, you will have CEO in July, back to Orlando, and you will have
So the
Evo
mouse
first
still sees
weekend.
all.
Yes, you can't escape it. And then in August you have Evo. So so I'm gonna use Evo as a double jumping off point, right?
I gotta wedge
'Cause
it in
obvious-
there real quick before we get to.
Please,
You said
no,
Evo's
go
in
ahead.
August.
Yes,
Okay,
first
we
weekend of
have
August.
we have Blast Austin, the major. Of
Right,
2020
yeah, we
first
should stop
major
and talk about that.
of 2025 in Austin. In June.
Pretty
Sorry,
cool.
I said July, but June.
No, June. Yeah, it's in June. Pretty cool. Yeah, CS major in. Hey, last time they did it in America, we won. That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying. Look. There's been a lot of real. There's also IEM Dallas, which is
Yeah,
also happening.
I saw
like,
it too. Yeah, that's in May as well.
So,
Yeah,
but
but
there's
this is
been
a
a lot
major.
of talk about NACS, and even NA players have come out and said that it's not great. The scene is dying. Everything in NA sucks. I think it was NAF or something like that said this. Like it was one of the Liquid players,
Right.
and he was like, yeah, like if you want to play like pro CS, don't be on an NA team, like don't play in NA or something like I'm paraphrasing. He didn't say those exact words.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
NA is just such a weak region. There's no events, right? Like nothing happens here for CS.
Nothing's
That it's just,
popping. Yeah,
like there's no small events that you can go to for the tier 2 scene. There's no tier 1 events
you've
because-
got no way to grind.
because
like
we're sending them
yeah.
to Rio of all places, which was another. Every time CS goes to Rio, it's a problem behind the scenes where you sell out tickets and then the Brazilian teams lose and then nobody shows up to watch the rest of the games.
Oh my god,
That's what happened. That's what happened to the last
so
two
funny.
IEM Rios, and I forget his name. The reporter gets in a bunch of controversy, but
Flasher. Not Slasher. I know which one you're talking.
You know what I'm talking about, ball guy.
Yeah, Fall Guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He was saying run in Sao
Richard
Paulo.
Lewis.
Richard Lewis, yeah. Richard
Yeah.
Lewis has a video where he's like, don't. He's like, stop sending them to Rio. He's like, why do teams have to get a security debriefing and like a 10-page pamphlet every time we go here? Like this doesn't
Ah.
it doesn't. It's not safe. He's like, yeah. Don't bring. He's like, okay, you can't bring your computer gear with you, but you need to bring it to the arena, and you can't go out at night because you have to be alive to play your games the next one. It's like a whole thing, right? And he's obviously
God. Yeah,
he's blowing it out of the water, and
but still,
is
yeah,
a little
yeah.
racist. But I digress, right? Sao
Yeah.
Paulo is arguably the better city in Brazil, and would probably get a better crowd because the Rio crowd apparently just seems to fuck off whenever the
Once Brazil's out, the national
Brazilian
pride
teams
is
are out.
over. Who cares?
Yeah, like and I get it, right?
Sure.
But you're there for that, but you're also there for the love of the game, as we've
No, yeah.
We've
People
talked about
got to
many
show up
times.
regardless. Obviously, whether NA makes a world finals, guess what? People who wanted to be at the finals when we
I'm
had it
watching
in
the
North
finals.
America showed up.
Yeah.
Like
right, like people stay to watch Stewie on G2, right?
yeah. I
European
mean, you're
team,
right. Yeah.
right? Still
Yeah,
kind of
100%.
has that
The homegrown boy.
US,
We'll take it.
yeah, you get it.
Nah.
So
It's
two
yeah.
tournaments this year. On
two
American
big
soil,
ones, one of them being a major. 100%. That's
Yeah.
huge. It's huge.
back to back, because like you go, because I don't believe that Sky Sports Masters is like a tier 1 tournament, but maybe it is. I don't know. I just haven't watched any of them, and we're having an
They ain't
India.
got the big fight feel, There's
Yeah.
something to be said about big fight feel.
Like I don't know. I haven't seen them before. Right, last year there wasn't one, and now there's like 3 of them this year. So
It's an attempt. You got to build a legacy,
no,
right?
you got to build a brand. Listen.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna be great. India's a magical place, very beautiful.
Yeah.
People might fight me on that. I think that country is just a magic to it. That being said, it's sandwiched between Dallas and Austin, and the only thing from Dallas and Austin that I want sandwiched is some brisket. Can I get an amen?
Brother, I had Texas and meat. I don't know. There's you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with meat in Texas.
He know about the meat in Texas. He know about the meat in Texas.
I know about the meat in Texas. Brisket, Stubbs Barbecue in Austin. Best carne asada tacos I've ever had in my life were at a random fucking location that we just pulled off the side of the road to eat at.
We're gonna hit it. We're gonna try. I'm gonna try to be there for it.
I might. We'll see how the funds are going
Yeah,
between
this year
between
we
Combo
wanna-
Breaker and fucking all the other
This
shit.
year we wanna hit the lands a bit more. Get
Yeah.
hotkeys on the ground to the people.
To the people, we're out there.
Because we're for the players, by the players. That's what's
Yeah.
important to us.
No, that's what matters. The people.
Taking
But-
taking on the ground correspondent applications now. We don't pay, but
I
you
don't
get to be on the
pay.
channel, so I think that's pretty swag.
You have to say hi.
Yeah, you get to do
Um,
an intro. And if it sucks, I'll record over it. So it's
Write me
fine.
in your intro. Yeah. So Blast Major, like you said, huge, big. July, CEO, huge, big. Return to form. August, first week of August. Evo, Las Vegas. I don't care about the French one in fucking Nice. I kind of care, but the big one. We're talking about the big one. Obviously, yes, Evo Japan's going to happen probably earlier in the year too. Evo Las Vegas, the big one, the Super Bowl of fighting games.
Battle
that
at the Bay.
is often, as it is often referred to, right? And the thing about Evo this year, I wanna channel a pastime, a favorite pastime in the fighting game community, which is speculating on the main titles at Evo. Now, before we speculate our Evo lineup together here, we got to mention one that we know is coming out, right?
Yes.
City of the Wolves.
City
We
of the
know
Wolves.
City of the Wolves is out before Evo.
Yes.
Looks great. I'm
excited.
I'm pretty stoked. It's very different. It's like a lot of people it's a Fatal Fury game, so like it kind of if you don't know anything, you kind of bundle it in with like King of Fighters stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not. Plays very different. This
It's
game
also
looks very
the Garo
different. Like
sequel, so it's not just a Fatal Fury
yeah,
game, it's a Garo game.
yeah, yeah, and
Which are
it
more
looks
similar,
sick.
but
I love the art style for this game. I think it looks awesome in motion.
Yeah.
Mechanically, it seems very cool. I'm pretty excited. I'm excited to pick it up and play it. But yeah, so Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, that shit is coming out in April. Now the question mark, right? The big
Mhm.
question mark. And I'm curious where you'll come on this one. I know where I stand. The question mark is 2XKO. I think everybody believes it's coming out this year. I don't think that's too much in question. The question is when. Do you think 2XKO makes Evo? Yes or no?
I feel like no, but we get a confirmed release date. You know what? No, I scratch that. I do think it shows up at Evo because we're supposed to hear something in February about it, and I think the
And in
announcement they
something in
make,
March.
and
Yeah.
in March. So I think the announcement they
There's two
make
things.
is that it's coming to Evo, and then they would tell us to wait for March, and then they do like a same day drop. It's available with a full roster. Like they show more characters, and they're like, it's available now.
Okay.
And that's my headcanon for it. That's how I
Sure.
see that working out. And
I like
think
it.
I think that's pretty reasonable.
So here's my pitch. I have two pitches for you. I have what I consider the rational one and the pie in the sky one.
Mhm.
My rational explanation is in February, they announce a new character as well as the date of a test. The thing they're showing up for in March is probably that test. It is like a release date for whatever that test, the next test build is. And we see the game in like winter, maybe fall.
Okay.
Pie in the sky is what you're talking about. February, they announce a test. March is the test. And then the test concludes with, oh, by the way, the game's out in July.
Or the game's out
something.
with Evo or something like that. I don't know.
Well, I think if
They
they're
release it
trying to get it
before
out
Evo.
before Evo,
Yeah.
they want it at Evo.
Yeah,
I don't
that
think they
makes
want to
more
release it. Yeah, I think it's out in like July or I mean June if they can help it. But to me, that's very pie in the sky. Legitimately, I don't think that's very likely. It'd be cool, but I don't think it's likely. But I think we can operate under the safe assumption, both of us, that obviously if 2XKO is out, it's in the Evo lineup, assuming it's out in a reasonable amount of time between the release and Evo, which would probably, like I said, have to be June. It would have to be out in June for it to make it to Evo's lineup. But I also think it's safer to assume that we are operating under the assumption that it is not going to be on the Evo lineup. So, Evo lineups, for everyone who don't know, usually if we're basing it, and I don't expect it to change because it usually does not, Evo lineups consist of 10 games, one of which, as of late, is a retro title. They bring in an old game to be the 10th game.
Yes.
Do
Last
you
year's the
have a
third
lineup,
strike.
or do you want me to give you mine first? Because I already know.
You're pretty locked in on it. I'm not like the most competitive. I'm a casual fighting game enjoyer. So I'll
Correct.
run my gauntlet. You tick off the boxes if I'm right or wrong on this one.
Well,
But
no. Yeah, give me what you think your lineup is, and I'll give you mine.
I think it's always the big boys. You know, you've got Street Fighter, you've got
A lot.
Tekken, you've
A lot.
got Gear.
Yep. Until Arxis creates it for better or for worse, until they create another Arxis anime fighter, Strive is still happening. Yes, it's a
I
lock.
think Mortal Kombat's out this year.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it's a one and done?
Yeah, but that's just the NRS.
I'd say
hater
it.
in me.
No. I mean, I'm not. This is your lineup, baby.
Yeah,
I
no, I think
yeah.
I think MK1 is out. I feel like that game's kind of run its course for its player base and for just the general fighting game audience. The retro game might be a Mortal Kombat game, and it might be MKX or yeah, it's probably MKX. But that's like a big shocker. Like why? Um, 15 probably KOF 15 probably.
You don't think City of the Wolves takes that slot?
If City was okay, no, yeah, because City of the Wolves will be out. So yeah,
It'll be out. That's
City of the
yeah,
Wolves
that's out in
takes that. Yeah,
April.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, I was thinking that it wasn't.
No, no, that's
I'm
out
kind
in
of basing
April.
this on
That's
like last
100% out.
year's list as well, since that's out. For the anime game, I don't think we see. Do we see Under Night or Type Lumina?
I can tell you my vote on which I think makes it.
I don't think Type Lumina is like
Neither do
hype
I.
enough.
I think
Yeah,
Under Night would
I think
make
the
it over
player
Type
base isn't
Lumina.
there. Yeah, Under Night definitely gets it. It's either so our classic game is either an old
This is the
gear.
big debate one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's either old gear. It's either like AC plus R or something like that, or it's I was saying like MKX or something like that.
Okay.
What am I at? Am I at 5 games?
You have named with your retro title you were at 5. I believe you've named
Yeah.
7 games. Do you need to
Is it
fill
10 games?
3?
Is it actually always
It's
10
8.
games?
Sorry,
Eight
no,
games.
you
Okay.
need one slot. Yeah.
Okay. So, what's really popping off lately?
You've hit I think every like what I consider a lock.
Yeah, because I
I
don't
think
think
you've
we see
hit them all.
Grand Blue
So now
again
you're at
either.
the
I
speculation.
think Grand Blue is like out because what Rising came out before Evo, and that's why it was in there as one of its bigger games.
It was close to release, I believe, but
Yeah.
I mean, it had been out for a bit because it was being played at Frosty.
I'm trying to think, man. I'm trying to think. Oh shit. Okay, no. Dial it back. Dial it back.
Hold on, dialing it back.
My
He's
retro
rebooting.
my retro game
Okay,
isn't
what's taking the slot?
isn't AC plus R, or this is my speculation pie in the sky. All right, this will probably never happen, but here's what I think is gonna happen. Okay,
Excited now.
we see the return of Smash with Melee as the retro game.
That's crazy. You're a psychopath.
Insanity. I know insanity. Lock me
You're
up.
a
Put me in a padded room.
psychopath.
Put me in a padded room. But think about
That's
it.
not the answer I
Think
expected.
about the hype, right? Like, think about the games that are coming out. Think about all the games that we have available to us, right? Maybe the MVCI.
You want to cause a riot? Oh my god!
You know, I will die on this hill. I think the return of Melee to Evo would be insane.
Twitter would be on fire.
It would
People would be
explo-
rioting in the streets.
They would crumble the Mandalay Bay from its foundation. They would rip it up and just
Smash players and fighting game players would start openly brawling. Like it
it's
would
like
not.
the Purge. No, it'd be mayhem. It'd be terrible. But what I'm getting at here, right? We don't have a new versus game, right? So we're not like it's you either just put Dragon Ball back in because for the sake of putting Dragon
There's
Ball
no
in,
way.
and you're not going to do that, right? Do you keep Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, or is that like your one and done game, right? Because if you have to put an NRS game in, sure, MK1 shows back up, right? I don't think it will because they've abandoned that game pretty much, and I think Evo will do the same. So you need things to fill it. And so if you want to grab a legacy slot with it, right, you bring back, you get on the phone, you send Mango an HBox, the up text, and you see if they want to show back up for Evo. That's just where I'm at.
Dude,
That's just
what
my
you're
thought process
saying
behind it.
No, I mean I dig it. I love it. That's a better answer than anything I could have gotten out of you. Like honestly, you blew me away in a way. Yeah, no, that's a 10 out of 10. That's amazing. Cause you're right, especially because I've been talking with someone about how the melee scene seems like a little out of it, like it's lost steam. It doesn't have like it doesn't feel
This
like
is
as
what it
exciting.
needs, man.
It's losing events. It's finally feels like it's maybe winding down and running its course. And yeah, if that was announced, it would be, even if it was for 1 year, that's like a 1 year renaissance for sure. Where like everybody's suddenly back. Like it's all about the next Evo journey.
You know what I just saw? This is somebody else's like thing, and prediction list, and
Yeah.
they said the Hunter x Hunter game
Fuck
might
no.
might take the anime slot. Which
I would. Oh God.
It would
Gross.
be. It would be. Listen, it'd be a waste of a slot that you want the first Evo stream to have 0 viewers. You put that on there, right? But that's fine. Someone they also said this is on their dark horse. They also said Rivals 2, and if Rivals 2 gets in over Melee, what do you think
Okay.
the riots of that?
Hold on. I'm about to hit you with some real shit. You want to hear something funny? So
Hear it.
Melee has been on Combo Breaker's main lineup every year I've gone, which is now 3 years. This is the first year it is not on, and you know what's in its place?
Rivals 2?
Rivals 2.
Of course
Yeah.
it is. Of course it's the new hotness.
Well, yeah,
I mean, it's Rivals.
it is.
It's great.
And to be fair, I was talking with somebody about it. It's not the same game, but it is the only logical progression of that game, if that makes sense, right? Like if you're a Melee player who's been playing Melee for 20 years, you don't have another game remotely similar to turn to, because like the Smash Ultimate it's not the same game. Like let's be real. Like it's a Smash game, but it's not the same game.
It's not the same. Your big players are all pedophiles, so like there's no one left to like.
He said it, not me. It's true though. But like,
dude, there was a list of like 500 people. Like your entire scene is just like predatory. I'm sorry,
but
I love
yeah.
Ultimate. It's a great game.
It's not the same game. It's a different game from a gameplay perspective. There are different rules there. Some of those rules there aren't the same as American federal rules, and that's a problem. But you know, like other than that,
like if I have to watch, listen, and this is gonna sound hypocritical because I want Melee back, right? But if I have to watch a Joker player for the 800th time at this tournament, I'm gonna pull my hair.
Listen. I'll say it. I'll keep it honest. I can't see Minecraft Steve on the screen and not roll my eyes. I don't know. Like it's just the way it is. Like if Minecraft Steve is a character that is so good that he's talked about as being bannable,
the fact that
I'm
Minecraft
rolling my eyes.
Steve has the possibility to be an Evo champion character is insane. Because Steve is like good. Steve is really good.
Oh yeah, he was talking. They were talking about possibly banning him.
That is a major winning character, and the fact that there is a real possibility if Smash Ultimate is at Evo in any capacity, that the Evo champion of Smash Ultimate could be a Steve player.
I agree.
Like what? What year is it? What's happening?
But yeah, going back to the Rivals point. Yeah, if you're like, fuck man, I've been playing this game 20 years, what can I go to that remotely is trying to channel the game I love? It's Rivals 2. Yeah, I mean that is the game that is trying to be that game. And so, you know, I get it.
But I feel like it's a disservice because obviously fighting game events are as much about the esports as they are about the community, and I feel like it would be no shade to Dan. He makes an incredible game, and he has a wonderful scene that follows his games. And the Smash scene, the Melee scene, and the Rival scene go hand in hand. So this wouldn't be as
there's crossover
sound, but I feel like it would be a disservice and a slap to the face for the community to put Rivals in over Melee.
Damn.
I'm making it sound more dramatic than it actually is,
so to be fair,
that's where I'm at with
I think they would occupy different slots.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they would definitely, because one would be the retro slot. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way Melee is not. If it were to make it, it would not. It would be the retro slot.
Sure.
100%.
So we put that one in for. So we put Melee in for the retro slot. We put Rivals 2 in over Grand Blue.
Okay, so that's where you're going.
2XKO, if what we said before is correct, is.
Let's assume it's not coming out. I wanna operate because yes, okay. I think if it's not coming out, if it comes out, it's guaranteed. Like there's no way it's not.
2XKO. Yeah, it's Mortal Kombat. Unfortunately.
So give me your final 8, assuming no 2XKO, including retro slot.
No 2XKO, my final 8. Okay. This list also gave me a good idea because I just remember that the Capcom Collection came out with MVC2. So that might also take the retro spot again. Because they had the Invitational like 2 years ago or whatever.
No, it never happened. It got canceled because of COVID.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yep.
So We're reworking this whole thing. Okay. Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Gear,
Yep.
locked
Yep.
in, done. City of the Wolves, next, right?
Yep.
If we're getting rid, we have to keep an anime game in. The
Always.
Under Night crowd is there. They show out every time. Fine.
Yep.
Great. Cool. I'm really a toss up between Grand Blue and Under Night. I just feel like people like Under Night more than Grand Blue because Grand Blue's a bit slower.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm at 5 games.
Yes.
If we see a return of a platform fighter that is not in the form of Melee as the retro game, we get Rivals 2.
Okay.
Right? And this one is banking on that is only banking on Melee not making it as a retro game because CVS 2 would.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Not CVS. Sorry, not CVS 2. MVC 2.
Okay.
MVC 2 would. If
Right.
MVC 2 is not and it is Melee, then we see Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's where I'm at.
That's your list.
That's my list.
That's a fair list. I don't think that's a bad list. So, I have put in thought into this. Obviously, there's some things where I think are insta-locked. Four of our titles are insta-locked,
Yes.
right? Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Guilty Gear Strive, and City of the Wolves.
Garo.
I think are absolutely locked. Yeah, Garo is locked. All of them are locked. Tekken 8 and Street Fighter are on their second years. No question. City of the Wolves is kind of the new kid on the block. It kind of fills that KOF slot. Obviously, they're different games. I know some people are like, oh, it's like the Sega. It's not. I know, but like, hey, that's just.
They both have Terry.
Yeah.
So does Street Fighter though. So
Yeah.
Terry's in 3 games out on that stage now.
That's sick. But yeah. So obviously, yeah, Garo's gonna take the KOF slot, and that's you. So you got 4 locked from the jump. Guilty Gear isn't going anywhere until, like I said, Arxis makes another mainline game. It had 2K entrants last year. Probably still be above 1,000 this year. Would be my guess.
Gear is still fairly popular.
Yeah.
Lily
Yeah, I was just say it's the anime game. Like it is the reason anime has 2 slots at the tournament. Like I don't know, like that's how I feel about it, right? So now you enter. Obviously, you got 3 more games, and one of which and a 4th game that is a retro slot. So the 3 games are interesting, right? I don't think Mortal Kombat's going anywhere. I think it still has its slot. So I do think Mortal Kombat 1 is staying in. Might be a rough year for them. It's staying. So yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 staying in. I think Grand Blue Fantasy Versus is staying in. And I think Under Night's in. Still.
Okay.
So at that point, we're at 7 and it's just a retro game, right?
Not gonna be as ambitious as mine, I assume.
So I think there's a few options. I think Melee is like a crazy answer. Yeah, not gonna be that ambitious. But I do think there's you can go a lot of ways with this retro game. And there's, I think, warrant for a lot of them, right?
Yes.
Virtua Fighter 6 just got announced. 5 Revo. Very possible.
Okay, but do you think
CVS
5
2
Revo counts as a retro game?
Oh, you're right.
Because,
I never thought about
5
that.
is
It's
still
just an
a mainstay.
update.
I totally forgot about VF. That takes my
I could
Mortal Kombat
actually
slot.
see maybe a Grand Blue. I think Grand Blue gets Grand Blue or Under Night. I don't know which. I think one of them gets cut for Virtua Fighter before Mortal Kombat does.
We're in the same slot for me. So VF.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So yeah, I guess so. Yeah, maybe let's operate under Revo being a mainline game and not a retro game. In that case, I think Grand Blue. In my case, either Grand Blue or Under Night are getting cut for a 5 Revo. If they're not going to call it a retro, which I guess there was balancing, so maybe they don't count it as the retro slot game. So let's say retro slot game, then you've got CVS 2, I think is a reasonable choice. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, reasonable choice. Now, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is definitely riding versus hype, with like versus, the comeback of versus games with 2XKO. The only thing is, so the big question that everyone keeps saying is, can you do another Capcom game? Is the retro slot just the Capcom show? And I can see why that's annoying for some people. There's also something to be said about the history of the games they're bringing in, and yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can argue that MVC2 has a ton of history. So, like, especially the only thing that would maybe be the red flag you throw up is they've already had Marvel's Capcom 3. So it's like they do 2 Marvel games within, only a year apart from each other.
But the MVC2 thing is arguably a bigger deal, right? Because it was the whole, this game can never happen, this game can never come back.
I agree.
Out.
No, I'm with you. I would be down to see it. Yeah. And there's a precedence for it, and there's a reason for it.
It's that or CVS2, really.
Let's say they break out of their Capcom shell. Because I do think if they break out of their Capcom shell, because they've done 2 years of Capcom games now, there are options. Yeah. Tekken Tag 1, Tekken 3.
Tag 1 over Tag 2.
Nobody wants to play Tag 2 competitively. It would be Tag 1 all day. Okay. I'm deathly serious. No one in that competitive community wants to play Tag 2. Yeah, it would be Tag 1 all fucking day if they were gonna bring Tekken Tag in. So yeah, I would say T-Tag, maybe T3, maybe T5 actually, probably over T3. One of the two. I could see either one if they were going for a main line, like a T3 or a T5.
Yeah.
Outside of that, you have in retro Mortal Kombat, which I don't think we're digging that far down the barrel yet. I'll be honest. Probably not a retro Mortal Kombat.
I'm fine if I don't have to watch Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. So I think realistically, for the retro slot, I think you have a toss-up between CVS2, Marvel's Capcom 2, Tekken 3, Tekken 5, or Tekken Tag.
You don't see
are the ones
like AC plus R. Or...
So here's the thing. I think eventually, yes. I also don't think they have to dig far enough to reach an AC plus R yet.
Okay.
It's kind of just like a pecking order of history thing, in my opinion. I mean, maybe they surprise us, right? Maybe it is AC. That'd be cool. I would be down. But I think if I'm speaking realistically, I think it's one of the other ones. The question just then becomes, how hard do they want to... The question becomes in their mind, are they pushing... What narrative matters to them more? Do they want to ride MVC2 like in the hype of the return of MVC2? Does that outweigh being called the Capcom retro slot? Because you've done 3 Capcom retro games in a row and other titles feeling like shafted in that way.
But what if it was CVS?
And I think it's a tough debacle. I don't think so. Like I said, I think CVS2 would be cool. I just don't see them doing CVS2 before an MVC2. You know what I'm saying? If they're gonna stick to the Capcom legacy,
the hype is there for MVC more so than it is for CVS. I get you.
And it's just like I said, you're running the risk of if you put in another Capcom title, it's like, oh, you've done 3 Capcom titles in a row. Like, the retro slot's just the Capcom slot. You're going to get that regardless. So at least if you're going to get that regardless, you might as well put in the game that's going to generate more hype because it has a bigger storyline going on right now in CVS and in MVC2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it's a tough debate. I'm very curious which way they swing on it because I don't know. I think obviously you just send the MVC2 if I'm just like sitting there throwing darts at a board. But I say that, and then I'm like, Tekken 5 be kind of sick. Tekken Tag be kind of sick, so it's tough. And I'm super Killer Instinct, right? I don't think that one's likely, but I think it's a possibility. Yeah, like Killer Instinct I think is totally a thing. But we'll We'll see. Yeah, I think if I'm going to finalize lock in a list, it's going to be Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Guilty Gear Strive, City of the Wolves, Mortal Kombat 1, probably Under Night in Birth. Let's say Virtua Fighter is not a retro game, so we'll say VF5 Revo.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to lock in that they're just all in on MVC2, Capcom Naysayers be damned. And that's your 8 titles.
Sense. That like MVC2 just seems like the right choice for the retro slot they do this year. With like again, the Invitational never happened.
That was the thing is like because of COVID, the Invitational never happened, and that was supposed to kind of be the start of this like retro slot, in a way. And now that it's actually happened, and we've gotten 2 years of it with 2 titles, like but those are my 8. Those are the 8 I'm thinking for Evo this year, which is an exciting lineup. In my opinion, I think obviously Street Fighter is in the middle of being a very good game with a good season. Tekken 8, obviously that one's I think still going strong. It looks like an exciting lineup. Guilty Gear, this looks like a cool season. I know people hate this fucking balance patch, but it seems like they're willing to be more aggressive with changes and not just leave it sitting. So I mean, hopefully some of that shit sees adjustments. And obviously, the character route, I'm excited for a lot of the characters coming. I think Unica looks like she could be really cool. Dizzy's neat. I don't really give a shit about Venom, but he's there. He's a fan favorite. I don't think Lucy. I think Lucy is after Evo, so we won't get that there. But
back in the game.
Yeah. Oh, what Venom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played Gear in too long.
Yeah, no, Venom's coming back. Yeah, but so all those games are hitting. Mortal Kombat 1's still doing Mortal Kombat 1. You need an MK game there for the MK fans. And then I think everything we'll see how it goes. But either way, I do think it'll be exciting. And it'll be cool. And I think obviously announcement wise, if we don't have a date for 2XKO by Evo, we will probably get it at Evo. My assumption as well.
Yeah. That's the most likely, if anything.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I said, if it makes it out by June, which I don't expect it, I think it's fully there. It's at the tournament.
Right.
But I just don't see it being out by June. And I think it would have to be out by June at the latest July, because I guess in theory, when Sam Show 5 came out, it was at Evo, and it had only been out, I believe, 30 days or something like that. Like it was like exactly a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, at the latest, it would have to be like July fucking 1st.
Is there any like significant like riot date that happens between that? Is there like a outside of like the launch of the new league seasons and stuff like that? Like,
not to my knowledge.
Because like usually like an anniversary or something would be like a good time to release. People kind of like looking forward to announcements.
Yeah,
things like that.
The only thing that's tricky about it is that they've specifically everyone's weirded out because they said that they had 2 things where they're like, oh, we're gonna talk about something in February, and we have something to show in March or something was like their exact wording.
Yeah.
And it's like, why specify 2 very like specific dates for 2 specific announcements? It's just, yeah. And I think the common speculation that I think is probably true is that they're going to announce the next test in February, and that test will be active in March.
And then show the new character or...
Well, yeah, that's probably what they'll talk about is be like, hey, here's the new test is coming on this date. Hey, we've got a new character added to it, probably Jinx.
Well, Jinx is already...
She's been, but they haven't like shown her, have they? They just showed like a little bit of footage. She hasn't been like talked about in depth.
Yeah, there's like this.
They just teased her for like 20 seconds, I think. Like legit, there's almost like no footage. They've shown like her in-game model.
The 1 minute sneak peek they gave.
Yeah. So I could see them talking about her in depth and then being like, "Hey, guess what? March next playtest, Jinx is in it." Um, but yeah, we'll see. But either way, I do think that's our Evo, and I sounds good. I'm down. Dude, if they announce Smash as a retro title, that never even like crossed my mind.
Listen, man.
Rivals could make it. Like now that you mention it, I even think that's possible. I just wonder. Like I could see VF being out for Rivals, maybe. I think it's probably a slight chance, but I think there's a chance.
Yeah, I think those two are pretty interchangeable.
But I mean, yeah, it's a good lineup regardless. Um, yeah, I mean that's the big thing in July. Really, anything after that point is all speculation. Obviously, major dates and shit for whatever the usuals will happen. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you wanna talk about prior for this year outside of games? Because I think we've covered most of the big ones.
Yeah, I think we covered all the events and things like that. So I just have a
Hmm.
couple video games, couple new competitive
Please, yeah,
things that I want to kind of go over.
the Horizon.
The first one, I guess, is one that more people will know about. It is Rematch. Slow Clap
Mm,
is making a soccer game. And it's called
yeah,
Soccer,
they are.
where it, I guess, is gonna have the like Absolver, Sifu kind of like movement and stuff like
It's
that,
absolutely the same engine.
which
Like it
is,
looks, yeah,
but like the
same
gameplay
systems.
wise, like it'll have like the directional stuff that they do. I don't really know how to describe it. It's very unique. But
Yeah, it seems to be taking cues from that stuff for sure.
that, I think that would be really fun, especially for a sports game. I feel like sports games in the esports space kind of get shafted, right? You have like the 2K League for basketball, and there's
Yeah,
tournaments for
they have their scenes.
EAFC, right? But I think
Yeah,
because it's not like as right, if there was like a more competitive version
it
of
feels very
Mario
isolated.
Strikers, I think
Yeah.
that would like kill, right?
Well,
Like
like Rocket League, right? Like Rocket
yeah,
League
Rocket League.
has
Exactly.
a pretty solid scene.
So I feel like this is like the Rocket League contender because it's kind of Rocket League kind of exists in its own space without much contest.
Yeah.
So I think
No, I agree. This is taking some. It's obviously not like cars bouncing off the walls, but it's taking
yeah,
cues
it's a bit more
from like
grounded, but you've got
yeah, Rocket League
interesting.
gameplay.
It looks to be mechanically deep, and I think
Yeah,
that being one of the trifecta over here at hockey's, passion-minded hands.
hands.
This goes all in on the hands and the passion because we all know people love their footballers,
That's true.
right?
It's occupying two of the three.
Yeah. So it's got it. It's got it. That, and while I'm on the topic of sports, there's a little game you specifically may or may not have heard of it. Circuits and Shields
No.
from years ago. This is old lore. This is deep lore right here.
Okay.
Indie company made a indie MOBA that then
Okay.
evolved into, it's still a MOBA, but it's a sports MOBA. Think
Oh.
of Omega Strikers,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So we all remember Omega
Okay.
Strikers, and Omega Strikers had its niche. This
I liked that
was
game.
that
Yeah.
game is cool. It just didn't really strike the MOBA
It didn't
audience the
take
same way. It
off.
didn't really take
Yeah.
off, and I think that game is cool in its own right. It does a lot of things right, and that's for another video because I have a
Mhm.
whole control scheme thing that I'm gonna get into at some point. I
Mhm.
think we don't need to click anymore. I think WASD is a standard across all games, and MOBAs should adopt it. But that's,
Interesting.
burn
Okay.
me at the stake for that.
Hmm.
It has since gone through different iterations. I've been in their Discord for a long time to see all this. And I've got a couple things that make me iffy about it, but because I am Dobon MOBA extraordinaire, I've played all of them and will continue to play all of them. Uh, it is now Sparkadia or Sparkball. Sparkadia is, I guess, the studio,
Arcadia. I
something like
like
that.
the name. Oh, okay.
It's going through like a whole like brand crisis a little bit. On Steam, it's Sparkball. On their Discord, it's Sparkadia. I didn't read the blog post as to why they're different, if they are, but It's a 4v4 sports brawler is what they're describing it as. It's a MOBA. You have characters, you have abilities, and your goal, instead of destroying a main structure, is scoring goals as those characters. Um, this will also lead into my next point as well. But Brawl Stars has a similar game mode as well. You're a Brawl Stars player. But yeah, it's on my radar.
Yeah.
It's been my radar for a while, and
Hell yeah.
it looks interesting. It's got a much better art style and creative direction than the alphas and pre-alphas did. But they're alphas and pre-alphas, so I can't criticize it.
Yeah.
It's something to look
Testing
forward to.
period.
The only thing that has made me very wary of the game is the crypto involvement.
Oh boy.
When they were changing everything around and making new characters and the art style and all that, they released a lot of the character art and stuff as NFTs. And they post in their Discord a lot of like crypto ads and things like that. And if you look at like their videos on their Steam page, they kind of look like crypto bros.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I'm at the same time, it's not like a malicious thing. I think, there's something to crypto. It's not a thing that I understand. It's not a thing I care to understand because of I'm not like a finance guy, right? I work a job, I get money, and I spend money on things I like, and that's where it ends, right? I'm a simple man,
Yeah. Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with that. So, but the crypto stuff,
Yeah.
I think is fine if it's funding your game. The game looks better than where it was.
I was
So
say
that crypto
you
money's
gotta
going
you
to
gotta
good
keep
use.
your lights on somehow.
Yeah. And
I'll give them that much as
and
a
if it's
chronic
like,
crypto hater.
You're selling digital goods for a game. I guess it works. I guess it's fine. Right? Like, it's not the worst thing ever. If the sword my character holds is an NFT, but I get to use it in game, I'm not gonna be mad about the fact that it's an NFT. Right? I own the item and get to use it. That kind of gives it a bit more merit to me. But the JPEG of it is kind of stupid and ridiculous.
Digital scarcity
ownership
is a
and
fucking
scarcity
fallacy. Like,
is-
I don't know. Digital scarcity is literally a fallacy. Like,
It's dumb.
it's just not real.
I digress. It looks cool. Game looks cool.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones I'm excited for. Gigantic crashed and burned. There was a revival project called Project Stamina that I was following for a while that I think just turned back into the Gigantic Discord. and, yeah, like they're just like, dude, we got the game back. We don't need to work on this anymore.
That's actually so.
Because it was like old Motiga devs that were working on it, and I feel like Gearbox, God, that's Slimeball Randy Pitchford, re-released this game as the broken...
Sponsored by Medieval Times.
Is it actually? That's crazy.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
It's not, but that'd be so funny.
That would be. That would be. It looks like a guy that would go to Medieval Times.
You've not heard the flash drive story?
No, I haven't.
Oh God,
This goes deep.
Yeah, no. There's Randy Pitchford has Medieval Times lore, dude.
That
came up in a court case.
Oh wait, no, I do know about the court case. I do
Yeah,
know about that. Okay, yes,
there were some files on a flash drive found in a Medieval Times that may have maybe have contained some water sporting events.
Pro loves a jet ski.
he loves a jet ski.
He loves a jet ski. Who doesn't love a jet ski? But yeah, if they had gotten the band back together for Gigantic and then just made Gigantic 2 or re-released Gigantic but with updates and finished characters, I think that game is cool. I thought that game was sick.
Huge dub.
I think it's just poorly supported and it died again because they just re-released it and then continued to poorly support it.
Fair enough. Didn't solve the problem.
Yeah. I'm just spitballing games right now because I don't know. Deadlock, all that.
Yeah.
But
all these projects continue.
Much like you.
Mm-hmm.
And your want for Valorant. Your want to watch Valorant. I have stumbled into my own little rabbit hole here, and 2025 is a year that I think I am going to dedicate some more time to, drumroll, mobile games.
Oh shit.
I feel
Okay.
like, and this is not for nothing, you know, I feel like the mobile game market, as Blizzard once put, we all have phones.
Yeah, famously well accepted statement. Yeah,
Yes, we all have
100%.
phones. I have a phone,
You and me both.
and I like, you know, I like to play games on my phone.
Sure.
I
I
think
agree.
playing games on my
I
phone
play
is
a
a bit
phone
better
game. Yeah.
than doom scrolling, right?
Yeah.
It's more fulfilling.
Nothing like booting up a game of Bejeweled. And I mean that genuinely on the
Yeah.
phone, you
Listen,
know?
you're talking
That's a
to you're
classic.
talking to the Tetris extraordinaire right here. All right.
Yeah. No,
You know me. You
100%.
know I'm not a good Tetris player. I'm a good Tetris player. I'm not a great
Better
Tetris
than
player.
me.
I could solo your entire Discord. I'll say that much.
Yeah. Because I could solo my entire
Yeah, they
Discord. So
listen.
yes.
They were
Yeah.
talking about it the other day, and it took everything in me not to chime in and be like, y'all want to do the boss rush?
No, yeah.
I'll
I
one
was
v
gonna
three
say.
all of you in Tetris Effect
No,
right
I
now.
was saying no. I could solo my Discord,
Yeah.
and I'm not winning.
So that being said, love a puzzle game. God, we got to do a puzzle game episode.
We can talk about that'd be fun.
Dude,
Yeah.
oh man, whenever Perfect Clear rolls back around, we will do a puzzle game episode.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm locking that in now because it's a puzzle game tournament. It's great, but mobile games.
That would be cool.
I've been playing a lot of Brawl Stars and a lot of Honor of Kings lately. End of last year, going into this year.
Mhm.
Brawl Stars, it's pretty fun, very quick game, pretty casual, in my opinion. There is a competitive scene. They just had like, I think their first world championship or something like that, or something along those lines. That was a big deal for them. They have a Wikipedia page, so you know it's an esport.
That's real. No,
Yeah.
100%. Show me the Wikipedia page.
The current world champions are Humble, HMBLE, I think that's how you spell it.
Mhm.
Yeah, HMBLE.
Okay.
But yeah, there's just a bunch of
Yeah,
bunch of like
100%.
it's underserviced
Well, games are cool.
platform, underserviced regions kind of get to shine. A lot of LATAM, a lot of MEMA. I guess MEMA contains Europe, but I'm saying more like North Africa, Middle East. MENA, I think is the correct region for that.
Mhm.
MENA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Southeast Asia, of course, we all know they love it. But yeah, like South America, Africa, SEA all get their time to shine in these games. And as someone again who loves a good scene, God save the scene, right?
W.
The mobile games easier to make grassroots with, right? Everybody's got a phone.
Everybody's got a phone.
Everybody's got a phone. You show up, plug them in.
$100 for end game gens.
That's what I'm saying. And a lot of these, like, sure, Brawl Stars is a little pay to win. You can play casual modes to grind characters and level them up, and as you level them up, they unlock more abilities. It's not a perfect system, but I think for a mobile game where you're getting, you know, microtransactions, things like that, and player engagement as your main source of income. And the Brawl Stars World Finals was a big event. They rented out an arena. They had super high production. Like, it was actually so fun to watch. If you're a sucker for aesthetics and production of tournaments, go watch it.
I am.
It's very esports. Like, it's very cut and dry. This is
Suit and tie.
This is what I imagine esports to look like if I had to think of esports. There's projector screens and all this everywhere. But
sure,
it looks professional. It's well done. Yeah. Honor of Kings, you see at Riyadh Masters or Esports World Cup, whatever you want to call it.
I say.
You see that a lot.
That's
Honor
Esports
of
World Cup now.
Kings has a secret level episode. I don't know if it still is, but for a while it was the biggest MOBA in China. It was beating out League and Dota at the time. Dota mainly because it was like before League really took off in China.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, that's crazy to me. If that was
it finally got its way over to the West after like a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I don't have to play on China or Brazil servers anymore. I can play here at home with no lag. And I'm having a good time with it. There's a bunch of stuff I still don't understand, items and things like that, but
sure,
you know, I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to dive into it. I just hit Plat and Plat 3 now.
W.
You know, that might not mean a whole lot, but it means a lot to me. So,
Listen, man, number 1 out of 10 people is still number 1.
that's what I'm saying.
That's it. Winning a
Let's
local
do
is
it.
winning a local. You want a tournament.
So yeah, that's the new games that I'm looking forward to that I'm playing.
Hell
You
yeah.
went over Valorant, but you have anything else that you are locking in? What's your 2025 resolution for esports?
Yeah, like I said, I wanna watch Valorant. Like I said, no desire to play it. Probably won't play it unless, I have a big turnaround while watching it.
Yeah.
Um I'm trying to I really genuinely so obviously I've been kind of bouncing around on like Gear and Tekken. Um and I'm thinking maybe this year, maybe I was playing some Street Fighter a little bit again because I finally got a Kuma. Uh but I'm genuinely very excited. I see City of the Wolves gameplay and it looks so sick, and I really want to give it the honest try. Like KOF has always like appealed to me on like a character. I like KOF character designs a lot.
Yes. Very
Don't
cool.
ask me why. I couldn't tell you what it is about it, but I just think they're so sick. I think like all of them are very cool.
Listen, some of them are in Honor of
Um,
Kings. It's good enough to put them in that
it's
game.
true. No, yeah. But yeah, like I think their character designs are sick, and like this one is continuing that tradition. I think all the character designs they've put out for, I mean, like obviously Garo Terry has always looked cool, and like Rock Howard has always looked cool, but the redesign for Mai in City of the Wolves is fucking dope, man. Like
The leather jacket.
yeah, she's dope as fuck. She looks super cool, man. Everybody, fucking Gato, like all the like everybody looks so cool in that game, and that game looks so sick in motion. So I genuinely want to play that game, and really give it a shake, like a strong shake. Now that I know what I know about fighting games, and at least how to pick them up. But yeah, I think that's really the main one, right? Outside of that, it's like I said, I want to give Valorant the watch try,
Fair share.
really commit to watching it, immersing myself in it, seeing what the game has to offer as a viewer.
Yeah.
And I'm going full in on that. Rivals too. I think maybe I want to try to play more Rivals, and I think I want to try to observe that game from its infancy. Like, yeah, like its infancy into perhaps a maturing, esport with a scene and everything. I'm trying to follow that.
How do you feel about Supervive? Sorry, I'm throwing this one on you, kind of at the
No.
tail end here.
No,
but
yeah.
I know
No.
we both played and
Yeah,
enjoyed that.
I like that game. I think that game's fun. Yeah.
So,
Supervive's
see
cool,
where that
too.
goes too. A lot of
Yeah,
new stuff,
Supervive's
man.
another one.
A lot of new stuff.
No,
out
it's an
here in
exciting year.
2025.
Obviously, like, I'm the fighting game guy, and I'm very excited for this year because it's like obviously we're just getting the ball rolling on Street Fighter and Tekken, having concluded their like first and second years or whatever, like, or like, well, really, I guess year and a half to first year.
Yeah.
So those games are really kicking up. I think this year will serve. This year has 2 completely brand new Guilty Gear characters, which I'm excited about.
Yes,
And then yeah, just on the new front, well, like Unica from the anime, and then
Yeah.
Lucy being a crossover character. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, especially on the new blood front, like Signals is cool, and then yeah, obviously 2XKO I think is really interesting. I'm super excited for that game to come out. I know a lot of people are like, that game is going to come out, and some people want to treat it like the second coming of Christ. And obviously, it's not going to be that. It's going to be a fighting game. It's going to be a good fighting game. It's going to have potential for it to bring in a new crop of players that have never played before. But I do think sometimes we talk about it like it's going to change the fabric of fighting games forever. It's not. Like, I don't know. I think we should taper our expectations. I think it will be a good game. I think people will play it. I think some new players will come in and play it. And I think it's going to do a lot for the ecosystem in terms of cosmetics. And it will be a free-to-play fighting game. And I think at the very least, it will force a new buyer model where probably going forward, your Street Fighters and Tekkens might have a free edition that has like 3 playable characters or something. Do I think every fighting game is going to be free to play after 2XKO? No, no way. But it at least is going to create some interesting new ways to monetize the genre that I think are kind of needed.
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely gonna have a lasting effect of this new business model. Like we've seen it. It's not a new one either. Like we've seen it before with fighting EX.
How KI started, the free to play fighting game.
KI, right? A couple of these other ones, was it Roaring Thunder? I always say Roaring.
That one. I mean, but like that one is
That
just
one
2XKO, right? Like that. Yeah,
still,
that's.
like, it was a
But
model
yes,
that
exactly.
they
It was bought. It was bought because of that. No, you're
forth.
right.
Yeah,
like,
because of that.
Yeah.
And just kind of giving it this.
Why Riot bought that studio? Straight up.
Multiverses too, right? Multiverses also has a free to play model.
Yeah, it does.
That was a big deal when it came out, and then
no, you're right. That game was huge for a while.
And then they took it down because they're like, "Hey, it's not done yet." And I'm like, "Why didn't you just update the game?"
Yeah, they really feel. It really feels like they killed their
shot
game,
themselves in the foot by like pulling it down.
I honestly wonder, like, because the whole thing was that game like came down, they took it down, and everyone's like, "Why are you taking this game down? What the fuck?"
Like,
and then the game. Yeah, and then the game came back, and everyone's like, the game feels worse now than when it was offline. I wonder if that's placebo, though. Like, you ever think about that? Like, where it's just like, what if the game stayed up the whole time, and they just did like an update to it?
Matchmaking thing, you know?
Would it matter? I don't know. It's interesting to me because I do feel like them taking the game down shot themselves in the foot.
Like imagine they said, "Hey, we updated the game with performance fixes." Right, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is like amazing," but you took the game down. People don't remember how it was, so then you re-released it, and like any minor bug, like this game is unfinished. Why do I have to wait for it? So,
yeah.
I don't know, man. Multiverse is like a cool concept. It's just a shame.
Yeah, no, cool concept, like I said, but yeah, you're right. It's it's big year. It's gonna be a cool year. I'm excited. A lot of fun games, a lot of fun events. And just like, a retooling of everything. You know, we're getting a fresh new League of Legends competitive system. You know, the esport of League of Legends has changed, and this is the first year of that. That's huge. It's just a lot across the board. I'm very interested. I'm very, very interested in this year, and I'm excited to get in the mud, start hitting buttons again, you know? You know what? Ooh. You know what? Double down. I like this. Give me a rank aspiration in a game. End of the year. What are you going for?
Aspiration.
Give me one. Okay. One game. Give me a rank you want to do. Something. I don't care what it is.
God. You know what? I'll kind of leave it a bit flexible with this one. I kind of just want to get out of Guardian and Dota. Guardian or Crusader. One of those two.
Okay.
I just want to rank up. Just want to rank up in Dota a bit more. I gotta stop slamming Bane mid every game though to do that, and I have to actually like learn how that game's played currently.
Hell yeah.
Because it's been a while since I actually paid attention to that, but yeah.
It's not about how you get out. It's about getting out.
True.
You know? A win is a win.
A win is a win. I gotta stop being like toxic in that game though.
True, you know.
That game enables me to be toxic, and I do it to be funny, and then it just gets out of hand after. Like,
and then it's just actually toxic.
Yeah, then I'm just mad at people.
Yeah,
they
I feel
Phoenix,
that.
And I'm just like, why are we playing this character?
Good goal.
Phoenix is
good goal,
though, so it's fine. Anyways, what about you? What do you got?
I want to re-hit Celestial and Gear. I want to prove I can do it again.
Okay.
That is it. I feel like I got Celestial and I got complacent and decided like at that point I was just gonna branch out and play other games, which I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying Tekken. I enjoyed my time in Street Fighter. But I want to re-hit Celestial. I want to prove I can do it again because I think I can do it. I think I can do it again, and I want to do it again.
Right on. Well, with all that being said, you've been listening to, watching the hottest esports podcast on the planet, Hotkeys Esports. As I said before,
nobody's hotter.
We gotta get one of those. We gotta like get.
I'll get next
we gotta get,
episode.
like,
I'll have a
Trapaholics
soundboard
kinda
shoot
thing.
up. No, I got it. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I'll get it.
But here's to a new year of new games, new and old communities going ever strong, and hitting new heights
Yeah,
in your
game's
favorite
alive and
games.
well, baby. Keep playing, keep supporting, keep watching. And don't worry, those guys on the screen could never 1v1 you. Trust us.
Real,
We feel the same way.
real. I could 1v1 you. Those guys can't.
I'd smash anyone. But those dudes you're watching at the tournaments, no
Nah.
way. You got it, Chief.
Nah.
You'd shit on those kids.
Straight up. We'll see you in the next episode.